Okay. Good evening. This is the November 21st, 2023 meeting of the Town of Amherst Historic Preservation Commission. Can we have roll call, please?
Mancuso,
Present.
Palmer,
Here.
Swartz,
Here.
Waterman Culpa, Hershey,
Here.
Kenzie,
Here.
for the town, Buckeye, Fidel here, Quinn,
Here.
Robshaw, Howard.
All right, thank you. First item on our agenda is to approve the meeting minutes for the October 10th, 2023 meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay. If anyone is ready, we can have a motion, or unless you have some changes.
No, I remember I looked through these and I didn't have any, so I would make a motion to approve the minutes from October 10th.
Okay, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second? Me.
Normal second.
All right, Norm Hershey seconds. I'm going to do a roll call on this because I'm going to abstain because I wasn't at the meeting, okay? So can you do a roll call for this, Brian?
Mancuso,
Yes.
Palmer,
I'm abstaining.
Swartz,
Yes.
Hershey,
Yes.
Kenzie.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion carries 4 and 1 abstention. Okay, yeah, I wasn't here at that meeting, so. Okay, new business, 400 Mill Street. We had an application for a certificate of appropriateness that was submitted at the October meeting. It was adjourned. It is adjourned by mutual consent again this evening, and will likely be on our agenda for the December meeting. Next item, 2024 Commission membership. This was discussed to some extent.
Going back to Porter Bill,
Sure.
is it, reading the letter, sounds like synthetic slate is what?
No, the reason it was adjourned is because it was not, we requested them to give us an executive summary clearly identifying what they're asking for, okay? Because it's a big project, and obviously we need to know exactly what it is they're asking for. And we had asked them to give us that in, some sort of an executive summary or a written format, and we really hadn't received that in time for everyone to have time to look at it. So it was agreed upon, they agreed that we would push it back, and they are going to give us an executive summary by, I don't remember the date, James, that you requested it by?
2 weeks before.
I think
28th.
So next week.
Right, and then at that point, we will, the commission will need to look at everything and let them know if there is anything else that we need, okay? And so that at that point, it can move forward for the next meeting for a vote on whatever it is that they're requesting. But I felt it was not crystal clear. It needs to be crystal clear. We need to have a full record, documented record of exactly what's being requested before we vote on it. So that's why it was adjourned, okay?
Yeah, because it was all dated September 29th, September 29th, so that was all old
Yeah.
stuff.
All right, next one, 2024 Commission membership. At the last meeting, there was some discussion on this. So just to clarify, so we have 2 open seats for sure next year. And one of them is mine. I am an at-large, okay? And then the other one was the historian. So those are the 2 seats that are open at this point. And then depending on what Kate decides to do, there might be an architect spot open as well. So we definitely have 2, we might have 3, not sure, she hasn't made a decision yet. So We had a press release, Debbie Buckeye sent that to me. I did send that to James. I did look and see what we did last year. Last year, we put that press release on the website, under the track section, okay? So I would suggest that we do that. But there was also some discussion, I know, Norm, you mentioned in an email when I sent that around for comments, about whether we should do something different with that. Are you thinking social media or something to, like, are there other opportunities besides what we've done in the past?
We're publicizing the open seats.
Right. Well, I don't know, you sent me an email, I was wondering if you had some ideas other than what we've done in the past.
I can't recall.
Okay.
So younger people read social media.
Right, so I was wondering if it would be appropriate for us, well, young professionals read social media, okay? I was wondering if it would be appropriate for us to ask, or to circulate it, to ask maybe Preservation Buffalo Niagara if they would do a post on it, or to ask BNHV if they would do a post on it. Do you think that is appropriate, or no?
I don't know, I'd never seen them do that before,
I know.
so I'd be curious if they even would, or if that's stepping over a line that they don't want to entertain.
Well, I think that's up to them.
Yeah.
The question is, do you want me to ask them if they want to do it? I don't know if they would do it, but I'm just trying to think of a way, because last year we got some responses, but not a lot. Just trying to think of other options besides what has been done in the past, if you want to do that. If not, we'll put it, where did it go? In the
One of the
Amherst?
AIA and Amherst B?
Right. Well, did we put it in the AIA? James, do you know?
Kate did.
Kate did.
Kate did? All right, so Kate said she's already done that. She's already posted there. So it's just the Amherst B that we need to put it in, okay? Which is what we did last year at this time of the year, and then it was also posted on the website. If you have any thoughts about putting it anyplace else, let me know. I was just wondering if we wanted to try to do something different.
I may have been referring to professional associations.
Okay,
Like an architecture society.
right.
AIA.
That's AIA. But if we're looking for a historian, we're not just looking for architects and engineers.
Construction.
We're looking for more generalists as well. The at-large position, I'm not an architect. I could fill the historian spot, but that wasn't what I was, you know? So, I mean, the commission, the statute provides for kind of a wider range of people other than just one type of person. So that's why I was wondering maybe if we had BNHV, you know, I mean, people who go to those things are interested in history, right? They're interested in the town, they're interested, you know.
I think that's a good idea.
I think it's a good idea. Brian, what do you think?
Going to the ponds, you know, get fish.
I guess it's the historically based organizations. I would think even maybe explore Buffalo, like there, but it's just the caveat of town of Amherst, but they've got a big pool of people with that kind of mindset.
Okay. So, do you want me to reach out? What about PBN?
I say, go for it.
Yes? Okay.
Could it hurt?
Yeah, and ask what they can, like, is there a service or something, or is there a?
I mean, and maybe they don't do it. Maybe they don't
Yeah.
want to get started doing it, but I can ask. I didn't know if Carrie would be here tonight. I was going to ask her. So we will ask
Oh, right, BNA.
BNHV too, if they might be willing to, you know, do a post, or if I do a post. I mean, the problem is we don't have any social media for the commission. So it's like, we almost have to do it, and even the town doesn't have any social media.
And people would have to know to go to that in the first
Well, no,
place,
but
right?
if I
Or
posted it, then they follow me, right? So then they could share it. It isn't like it would be their post, it would be like, so that's why I think if I could get BNHV to do a post, even one of them to do it, then the other one will share that, right? And so that's how it'll get out to their people. But if we had social media, we could do it, but we don't. And the town of Amherst doesn't have social media. The town, no.
Do the TV stations do anything like that in terms of a community board?
I'll just throw it on. Yeah, I don't know how they do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, why don't I can start with
PBS or
these
something?
two. Yeah, I can start with it. I mean, because we do want people who have qualifications with regard to the specific area. It's not like we want everybody. We want people who are, you know, we have historian open, we have an at-large open, and we might have an architect open. Those are the kind of the places where we should.
Right.
hopefully
I
be
would say
looking.
Explore Buffalo then was another.
Okay, okay. All right, so I will do that. James, can you take care, I don't know how we get this in the Amherst Bee.
So I'm going to reach out to Debbie Buckeye about that. That's maybe something that goes through the supervisor's office as far as press release goes. So yeah, I will reconnect with Debbie Buckeye on that.
So then the other question is, the press release calls for the liaison. So what do we do about that? The press release has her name on it.
Yeah, so like who to send the resumes
So
to?
we need to know who should be the contact person for the information. Whether, I don't know if it's planning.
Debbie will no longer be on the board
I know.
at the end of the year, so we'll figure that out.
Okay.
That's in the supervisor's office, but also our liaison with the MSB.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Yep.
And you've got the press release, right?
Yes, I have,
So
I
he's
have
got
received it.
So we can he can modify it however you need to modify it to put the appropriate person in to get it. Okay, all right, good. So that'll be done. And then,
just so I'm clear, it looks like there's an architect position,
maybe,
a large position
yes,
required kind of special qualifications.
right. Is a historian. Okay,
Jane, we'll push that out to the APA. Get with Kim,
Okay,
out to the American Planning.
that's a good idea.
can you do me a favor? Once you know what it should say in terms of the contact person, could you let me know? And, because I'm not gonna, I have to give that information to BNHV or, you know, these other organizations as well. Anybody that I can't really ask them till I have the press release that I can give them.
I would say the contact person should still be Debbie,
Okay,
right? At the end of the year, and if we get information,
okay.
we'll direct it to her
Yep,
related to that.
great. Yep, I would think so too. I mean, right, because,
Get collected.
yeah, and, right, and she'll still be getting, there'll be incoming information for her. So, okay, great. So I'm gonna leave the press release as is, and I'll reach out to these other organizations and see if there's any way that we can post on their sites as well. Okay. What we did last year, this was done now and in December, and then in January is when the commission met and went over the applications, okay? And you actually, we did that, remember, in an executive session type
yeah.
thing? So if we get the information in and, you know, between now and the end of the year, and then you've got in January to be able, and by that time you'll know how many openings you have. Okay, is there anything else on that? So, reach out to these. All right. Next item, 2023 annual report. I just wanted to, so there are two annual reports that we do. One is the CLG report, and that is done, the CLG calendar year, or year is, reporting year is October 1st through September 30th, okay? So the CLG report is typically done, you know, in November and finalized in December and sent out, okay? The second report that is done is the report that is required by our rules, and that is the, on a calendar year, and so that is done at the end of the year, and in the past has been sent out, January, February. Now, in the first couple years when we were doing it, we did not, basically, I just did that report, and I just sent it out. It wasn't, and that's the way it had been done before, when Ellen was doing it. That wasn't something that, at least when I was on the commission, that was voted on or anything like that. But we did do that at least last year. You guys, the commission did vote on it, so if that's the case, so I did a draft, it's just to, everyone doesn't have that, but I did do a draft. If you'd like to use it as a starting point, you can, but you don't have to. If you want to do it in a different format, there isn't any specific requirement that I'm aware of on what format you have to use for that report, okay? I just used the format that I was shown had been done in the past, but you're certainly welcome to change that if you feel that you want to do that down the road, and you're more than welcome to redo that report, but the information is all in there. The report that you all have in front of you is just a draft of the CLG report, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing because you can read it all, but we're not going to act on this tonight. I just wanted to go over and discuss some of the information that we need to discuss in order to finish it, okay? I did review, as I do every year, went through all the meeting minutes for all the meetings from October 1st through September, and did all the calculations and figured out all of the information that's in here. What I did want to talk about for a minute is just a couple of the sections. Yeah, well, not,
CLG or the other one?
no, in the CLG is the one that we're looking at. Because I'm not going to talk about the other one. I had something I wrote down. Okay. So just, and again, this is a draft, but on the first page, just noting the trainings, all the training that we did this year. 11, you had an opportunity for 11 hours of training this year, just here. So that was all listed in here, and we certainly had plenty of opportunities for that. And so that's questions number 1. We had 11 meetings. Number 2, laid out the training that we did. Question number 3. I'm sorry, within question number 2, the first question I have, it says, please indicate what, if any, information or training the CLG needs from SHPO. So I had sent you all an email, I don't know, a couple months ago, when I started working on this, asking if there was any other training that you wanted. Now, typically, I have gotten responses back from SHPO saying, okay, we can provide you a training on that. So what we put here, I can't guarantee that, but I have had that happen. And then we've said, well, we don't need it because Preservation Buffalo Niagara was going to be doing it for us, so we already had it, so we didn't need them to step in, but they might step in. So I did get some responses from folks discussing tax credits, right? So that's what I put here. Amherst HPC will benefit from training on tax credits. Is that correct? And is there anything else that you want to add to that?
That was my suggestion.
Yeah, and I think Norm had mentioned some things too.
Yeah, I was thinking more along the line of, the delineation between what establishes historic significance and how much weight it's put. Because there's the example of somebody slept here for one night in this house and nothing else. That was an example of being historic, just for that reason.
So you're talking about the criteria?
Yeah,
More
criteria
focusing in on
as we
criteria?
evaluate certificate of appropriateness, because that component goes together.
Okay,
The
so,
significance of that to me is not it is the architecture, but it's also there's not you're not seeing any building built with that purpose in today's world. It's long gone. And that's a part of history right there. The use of that building. So that's what I'm getting at there is as we evaluate these, I thought Christiana had a wider interpretation of what can be done, maintained in historical significance.
Well, I think it certainly might be interesting to get somebody else's take on it, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because all of our training for the last 4 years has come from Preservation Buffalo Niagara. It might not be a bad idea to get somebody else's take on it, right? Someone else's interpretation, and certainly SHPO could be a good source for that. So if you want, I can add landmark criteria to this as well.
Yeah, it's landmark criteria. How to,
Okay. All right.
how to utilize it
Okay.
and apply it.
All right. Question number 3, pretty self-explanatory. Question number 4, design review. I just wanted to point something out here in terms of, this section always lays out how many requests we've had for certificate of appropriateness, and I've always included demolition requests as well, so that's what's there. But I did add in, for the first time, I think it's relevant to notify SHPO, because this is kind of, to me, I look at this and it says, what did you do this year? How busy have you been in the last 12 months, right? And I think it's worthwhile, my own opinion, I wanted to get your, sense if you agree, to include, I said, and it is not 5 landmark applications, it's 4. I was incorrect on that. It's 4 local landmark applications prepared by third parties, were reviewed for consideration, research and reviews ongoing regarding the same with these properties. Because there's a lot of time and work that goes into that. And to me, it still falls within the question in terms of compliance with government's historic preservation law. I mean, that's what we're doing. People are asking us, can this be a landmark? And we're looking at it and saying whether or not we agree that it can be a landmark. So to me, I think it would fall, and I think they should be aware of all the work that we're doing in those areas. So are you all okay with me putting that in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there are 5?
4.
There are 4, okay.
All right, and then under that same question, it says, briefly describe any difficult cases or reoccurring design review issues that have been problematic. Historically, the language that we had in last year's application, which is what you have here, is pretty much what we've put in most years. The continued fact that applicants are unaware of the standards and options for rehabilitation, continued education awareness is needed. And for the last 2 years, we've said to them, told them that we are trying to do that by including resources and information on this in our Preservation Day activities. So this is exactly what we've had for the last couple of years. Anything else you want to add to that, or does that pretty much cover it? Okay.
It's the biggest one.
It is, for sure. Okay, number 5 is difficulties. What challenges do we have? This is, again, what we've said in the past. See the need for ongoing community outreach. Public is unaware of incorrect information is out there regarding landmarking processes and the impact and benefits of landmark status. Anything else that you'd want to,
That
pretty much it?
sums it up.
Yeah. Okay. It's a big one. I'm sure all the HPCs probably answer that question the same way. All right, question number 6 is talking about our successes. So I listed the things that I thought were successes. Is there anything else that you think I missed, or do you disagree with? Just go through a few of them. We focused heavily, really this year the HPC roundtable was a big chunk of our time. Focused heavily around creating educational and collaborative meeting opportunities with regional historic preservation commissions. And just so we're all aware, Preservation Buffalo Niagara was the hands-on coordinator, but we did make all those decisions. Like, they contacted us at the beginning of the year, what do you want the topics to be? We were hand in hand in terms of coordinating those meetings, so it wasn't just them. We really did work with them on that. I know I did, and Kate did as well. We obtained local landmark status for the Harlem Road School, and also have recommended 22 Chateau Terrace, which is pending before the town board. We had another successful third annual Preservation Day. We finalized our recommendations for modification of the Amherst Code. We participated in community education and preservation advocacy. I mentioned the Damon Explore Buffalo event. And we have got plaques were procured for 2 of the town landmarks with plans for the future. Is there anything else that you can think of that I didn't think of? If anything comes to mind, you can email me because we won't finalize this till next meeting. But if there is anything else that you can think of that's a success, we would definitely want to add that in there. Now, this next part is definitely something, again, goals. Now, the last few years, we've had pretty kind of common language in here. The first paragraph, Amherst HPC plans to continue local landmarking research and advocacy. We've submitted a local landmark proposal to the Amherst Town Board regarding 22 Chateau. A public hearing will be forthcoming. We're continuing our landmark research regarding properties in the Snyder-Eggertsville area and Amherst, including but limited to additional institutional, religious, and historic assets. I put that in there because I do believe you are working on taking a look at the historic district, right? And so there, we are doing some research in terms of looking at it and evaluating it and deciding whether or not it's something that should go forward. And I said, as this research is completed, we'll make decisions regarding priorities. Last year, we talked a little bit about Preservation Day and, planning to reach out to residents, community leaders to advocate. Kind of the second part is just kind of a general statement. And I'm sure we all will continue to do that, right? Advocacy is part of what we do. And then this last part is working collaboratively with the HPCs that we created relationships with as a result of the roundtable to continue to foster those relationships and support one another. So that's my rationale for mentioning that. Is there anything else that you could think of in terms of goals for next year?
Yes. The roundtables were great, and then how does like Linda Mackey and the New York SHPO, is that kind of lumped their assistance? Because she came and spoke at the one.
Right.
I don't know if that's a separate like sort of collaboration or.
Well, no, that
or
was
would
part.
that be
well,
part of that last point?
Yeah, so we can add that in here for sure. Working collaboratively with SHPO and regional historic preservation commissions, we could definitely do that. And she was part of it because, this was funded by the grant. And so we consulted with her in terms of what she thought was important to be covered by the roundtable. And she thought the CLGs, needed her, I wasn't there for the May, so I don't know exactly what she did. But she felt that the meeting on the CLG information was important as well. Well, let me know. You can think about this again. If there's anything else that comes up, if you want to let me know, and we can add it to that. So that's another thing that we would.
I'll email you.
Anything else?
I have something I'd like to add.
Okay, good. And then number 7 is just a standard question. We don't have any of those things. The rest of it is pretty much just straightforward answers that don't involve anything. So just wanted to share, this is what I've done. We will hopefully be able to finalize this in December, so if you have any other thoughts, and again, goals for next year that you want to include, let me know.
I assume on this last page, continuing our landmark research regarding properties in the Snyder-Eggertsville area, including the non-traditional. So, institutional, religious,
And anything else you want it to be, right? I don't know if you're going to keep working on the churches. I don't know, it's general enough that it kind of keeps the door open for wherever you want to go in those directions, right? Yeah, but, right. I mean, that's been on the agenda, right, it's been on the agenda for a while, and,
We went to the one, we were so upset.
yeah, okay, well,
We didn't go to the campus.
okay. All right, so that's what that is. So you will email me any other comments or any other additions, and we will finalize this and get it out before the end of the year. All right, what's next? Old business. Okay, so Chateau Terrace Local District nomination, I was told that you have a report.
Yeah, I'll make a few comments. Kate and I met briefly to discuss a working plan to try and move this forward. Basically, there's going to be a tremendous amount of work involved in trying to make a usable document that has justified information or for the town board to make a decision. And I think Kate and I are both nervous about the desire of the residents. So I think when we had our public hearing for 22 Chateau, I think there was 10 to 12 different neighbors in the neighborhood. But as you know, I think it requires 75% of the neighborhood to be behind turning it into a historic district. So we're a little nervous about, not for local?
No, local, you're actually not supposed to ask,
No, I know we cannot ask.
and it's for NR status.
Okay, right. Okay, so for local.
Local, you can
Yep.
just do it.
So we also are concerned about support on the town board, but I don't know how you go about gaining that support without just offering them the information. But they're basically, we were thinking of perhaps spending some of our next year's budget on employing a couple of interns or finding an intern that could basically fill out what's commonly known as like the blue form, the general information for each property. So I wanted, to ask how people's flavor was for doing something like that.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
I said it right away.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of work. Just
Tremendous.
Yeah, you can't do
each
it.
of those properties has to be pretty much documented as to what
Yeah.
condition it's in and how it looks and how it's built at the present, at the time it's being nominated.
Yep.
Because then changes come up later, we need to know what was there. And that's a lot of work, I would expect, for each property.
Yep.
Yeah, because you don't have a survey on it. So,
Not a complete one, no.
No, you really
We have
don't.
we have really good neighborhood information that the two applicants, we can use, that great neighborhood information. But now we need to drill down into the details of every property.
yeah, no, I think that's certainly something you should consider, for next year, absolutely.
Is there, do we know how much our budget is for the next year? Okay. So I don't know if we want to have a little working group and talk about like maybe a not to exceed amount that we could pay. Would we have to contract with somebody in order to hire them to do this work?
So it's a little more complicated than just, I'm sure you understand.
Sure.
Grab an intern, like, so,
Yep.
there's probably some employment level things that have to be worked out with HR, tax situation. We have interns, we typically have a scope of work that we require them to fulfill, so we can talk about it offline if you want. Use some examples we've had before, but first thing I think we do, talk to HR and see what their position is on it.
Okay.
We don't had an intern in a while.
Sure. Do you want me to set up that meeting with you?
Yep.
Be happy to do that.
You know, I'm just sitting here thinking, too, I'm sorry, but I don't mean to throw something off. In terms of an historian, has anybody reached out to Buffalo State or me or anything like that? Or either the students might be interested in something like that, some membership? Somebody else professional might know of an organization? That, I don't know if that happens or not, whether anybody ever thinks to do that, or, let me get you back there and think.
Yeah, look at me working at UB. We have a whole
Yeah.
department of history at UB.
I see where your head's at. I think it's a good idea.
Really historians.
I mean, I can ask around. That's about as good as it gets from me.
I think the first thing is to figure out what the parameters are in terms of what you can do, and then see where you can go in terms of finding that kind of that,
We're switching back to this.
well, no, I'm still talking about the district, right? That's what he was talking
No,
about.
he was talking about membership.
Membership.
Oh, for membership?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Shifting gears a little.
Yeah. Okay, all right, got it. Come on.
Sue?
Yeah.
How did you get the volunteers that, came to that preservation day, at the BNHV? Because the woman that I sat with, didn't she take your job, or what, she was
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
very articulate, young.
She lives in the city, though.
Yeah, she is. We have to have time, yeah. In terms of
You
membership,
just have to throw water on mine.
Yeah.
I thought she was perfect.
Yeah,
I
okay.
mean,
well, we
how
can,
did you get those people?
I didn't get
didn't get
anybody. No, I didn't get anybody. Wasn't me.
Well, they were volunteers.
PBN?
Probably.
She was great.
They're probably part, that's why I think reaching out to BNHV and those places, we might be able
Or
to
maybe they got it.
get some additional help, yeah.
Oh, because there was another one that was really good too. You know.
Yep. All right, so that's, thank you, Brian, for that, on Chateau Terrace. I think we have a direction in terms of what's next on that.
Yeah, do we consider adding it to one of our goals for 2024?
Sure, why don't you, like, write it up and send it to me, absolutely.
Okay.
It's, the goals section is typically a very general section anyway, so you might just want to maybe add a few things to what's already there to reference it. We don't usually get into super specifics.
Okay. Create first historic district in the town of Amherst.
It's actually not the first.
It's not the first.
It's not the first.
No, it is not. As you know.
Yeah.
All right, next one, 22 Chateau Terrace, garage demolition referral, this is on hold still, due to, so I'm gonna, Nora, do I have to make a motion to do anything? Do I have to make a motion to adjourn this matter, or can I just say it's on hold and the demo referral? Okay, all right, so I'm going to make a motion to adjourn this matter pending resolution of matters.
Legal.
So that's a motion. I have a second.
Brian Swartz, I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? No, motion carries 5-0. All right, next item, local landmark plaques, Harlem Road School and Main Street entranceway. So there's two different topics under this item. First one, Harlem Road School and Main Street entranceway. I know you discussed this at the last meeting. Where are we now in terms of how are we going to put, I think everyone agreed, you came up with a place for Harlem Road, location for that plaque, and that seems to be able to go up easily, fairly easily?
Yeah, so Brian, thanks for sending me the scope of work. Fortunately for this one, I can send it to Dan Rizzo in facilities and they can have it installed per your scope of work. The entranceways will be a different story. We'll have to work with highway department on those. So likewise, I don't believe we've decided on a precise location for those ones anyways.
I didn't,
Talk about adding it to a sign or something, or maybe, I don't know, melting it down and.
Yeah, adding it to those stones.
so what's the next step to figure out what we need to do to get those up? Who's gonna put them up?
For the entranceways?
Yeah.
The highway department,
So
yeah.
do we need the highway department to come and look at them and say, this is how they have to go up?
I wouldn't count on it.
Well, we never selected a location.
They're in the town right away. I feel pretty confident because they're the ones who do the maintenance. They did, yeah, well,
Facilities might be your
We still
Okay.
have a location that we agreed to
right.
put them on.
Yeah, as long as you guys know where you want to put them, I'm more concerned with they.
Right.
Well, how do we get a location? 'Cause
Should we
otherwise-
coordinate with whoever would install them, maybe?
Well,
I think
$1,000.
I know.
one or two of us at least should go out and stand there and look at it. So,
Gotta
Would
put 'em
I
up.
want the
Where are we gonna put 'em?
snowplow and throw salty snow up against it? No. I would think about that. And then
What's your
security
idea?
for theft or vandalism.
That could be anything.
I don't know, we talked about everything and
I was gonna say, I mean, we went to the locations to look at those precise questions, We came up with a number of options at last month's meeting. I don't have every one. The one that I have up here is one of the options that we came, or two of the options, I should say.
yeah. No, those, I mean, in either. of
Both
those-
at both at Maine and Roycroft. Yeah, they weren't perfect fits, right? So.
Those, in my opinion, installing those in those two locations will,
The plaque isn't gonna last for a while.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, and I don't think we found anything that was more ideal than these two, so it might need more investigation
Installing it on the street furniture, I think, is not an option.
on it. Okay.
Installing some sort of separate sign, some sort of, no, I'm sorry.
installing them on its own sign adjacent to the street furniture, installing the plaque on a pole, basically, like the New York State signs, may be an option, but they can't really go on the masonry, on the street furniture. It's not feasible.
Why can't it go on the pole with the lights on?
Yeah, I mean, it could be something like that if we, want to add I don't know, something above. It'd be possible.
So the more elaborate this gets, the more likely it is to find somebody that actually knows. My experience with the Veterans Committee, I don't know if that expertise exists in the highway department or facility. So I hope, I hate to keep saying, talk about it, you guys know where you want to put it, then we can work that. But we want to see if there's somebody out there that has a little bit more, whether it's Morris, Mason, somebody that has some experience with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Jeff would be good. Yeah, is it,
Because then we talked about, I have my notes, maybe we have to come up with a different design for those plaques.
Going forward, but
Going
we have,
forward,
but we
yeah, but
have
we
a
already
plaque
own
that we
it,
spend
yeah.
money on, and we have it, we need to put it up someplace.
is there anyone on the commission that's going to have an opinion on which piece of street furniture this goes on? Because like James and I are the only ones that went out so far. Does anyone else want to be included on where the location might be?
No, I mean, obviously,
Defer, you went there and looked with that thought in mind.
yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, I just think, obviously, the most ideal location would be the one where the most people will see it. But for me personally, it's more important that it goes up than that we have it sit and we forget about it and it gets lost in the shuffle of all the other things that start happening next year. And then it doesn't go up and it's like the plaque that sat on somebody's shelf and for how long? Because
That was my shelf, yeah.
everybody moved on to the next thing. So I think while there's a little breathing room here, it might be a good time to just make some decisions, and you're absolutely right. And I think going forward, you know, if we have a situation like, if you have a situation like this, where we have street furniture, something that's not like a building where we can definitely put these things on, then I think you need to revisit the style of the plaque and do something different. And maybe revisit it, and maybe you want to revisit it anyway. The one that we have and the one that we did was recommended by Kate. It's the one that she had used. We did it kind of in a hurry, and that's, you know, what we did. And I think it'll look great on the Harlem World School, and it will probably look great on a lot of different buildings, but maybe it's not ideal for this, so.
Sue, is there any reason why we can't put the Harlem Road one up now?
I don't see why we can't.
Weather.
Oh, I don't know the answer to that question. I just need the scope of work, and I can send that to them. I don't know if they can't. The question, the ones that we can't do right now is the entranceway.
I don't know.
Stone, but yeah.
It's not my thing.
Yes.
Just going back to the Main Street furniture, I would go with what Dan said. We should take the time and the money to use somebody that's familiar with working with that kind of material to get the best.
It's not our guys.
Yeah, it's the people that repaired it. They know how to handle working with those materials, and
Do you have
it should be done.
Do you have a limit for contracting with someone, an outside person, to do it?
Well, and who's
Like
gonna-
without having to bid? So OGS is $2,500. And I don't want to spend our entire budget on doing something like that. But
No, I think we can do some things for lower amounts of money. We may even have somebody under contract.
I was gonna say, you have an open contract, we can throw a change order on?
Yeah, they work on the memorial stuff for us.
There you go. Do you want to talk about that when we set up our meeting?
I'm open to it. I'm okay with it.
All right. Okay, great. So we're going to set up a meeting, and you will discuss
Yes, please.
but in the meantime, and James will get whatever he needs to put the Harlem Road School plaque, have that installed, and then, and you'll figure out what to do for the next one.
Yeah.
All right. So then the other issue is additional plaques. So last month, you did discuss different options, and it's my understanding that Park School and St. Mary's were the two preferred options. The issue with both of those is that the funds that we have right now, we really have to encumber quickly. And with either of these options, it's just not going to happen quickly. You're talking about schools, school boards, making decisions, putting things on their buildings. So I'm going to suggest that we think about some of the other options where we could get a yes from an owner quickly enough to be able to do this, because we have to really know by the next meeting which one we're going to do, because we have to approve the invoice at our next meeting, which is only 3 weeks away, James?
Yeah.
Right. So we don't have a lot of time. So Mary Lou, you were discussing, no, but didn't you also discuss,
Four Seasons.
Yeah.
no, Richfield?
I thought we had a Ridgefield as a yes.
They're nice people. Yes.
So did you have I did watch the meeting, but I couldn't hear what everybody was saying. Did you talk to any of these
I talked
owners
to the husband.
on Richfield?
Yeah.
And he said he would be okay? He wanted to do it?
You would have to ask the wife.
Okay, all right,
But they came here that time.
right.
They were both, so,
And that's a house,
yes, it's a lovely house, but it's set back. I mean, it's never going to be the kind of place that Park School.
right? But, and you can,
Use the money.
you can always do one for those entities. It's just that it's going to take, you're not going to be able to get what we need. I have to call up the plaque company, and I have to get a quote, and I have to know what I'm asking them for. And that's not going to happen.
Well, it's like
2
that
months.
place on Young's Road. They have a plaque. I mean, who would see the plaque? I could hardly find the plaque.
Right,
She had a plaque.
right.
And the woman before it, I forgot her name. all came along. She gave her the plaque. She asked her if she wanted a plaque, and she got it.
So where can we have money that we're going to lose if we don't spend it. And
Well, if we can encumber these one or two with, you know what I mean, if we set up this meeting quickly, it's possible to spend that money
on the signage?
on the existing one.
I looked at the first floor. Number 3, the Hossauer House on North Forks. I talked to the owner.
You did?
Yeah, she would be a definite yes.
Oh, really? Okay. So that is a possibility. Do we want to ask them? That would be one.
Well, you should ask Richfield too.
Okay, so that would be two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going to a house, then go to them too. They're-
Okay. So how do we get the contact information for these people? Do we have that information at all? Or I just,
Well, they've appeared before here, so.
yeah,
We have the designation paperwork from when the properties were designated. I think the contact information should at least be on the applications.
okay.
If not, I'm
Right,
sure we
so-
could find the
so
contact
James,
information
can you
somewhere.
get me that? Can you get me some phone numbers or whatever we have and see if we can reach out to them?
Yes.
When you were there, you just saw the husband? Is that how you know?
No, I talked to him.
How you just saw him when you were there? You
No,
talked
I
to him?
probably knocked on the door.
Okay, all right, okay.
I didn't know we weren't supposed to.
No, all right, okay. Okay, so are we in agreement? Or do we want to use it for those two, or do you want to wait and hold off?
How much we got left and how much that's gonna use up?
So we have, how much left, James?
2,400.
Oh,
And if we don't use it, we lose it?
We had 3,000 last year, we're only getting 2,500 next year?
Whatever you had, I don't know off the top of my head, whatever you
All
had
right,
this
good.
year.
Just checking to see if we're getting cut, if, I know the
I
taxes
didn't
are
change
going.
it, I don't believe it was changed, whatever you had, 23, you should have 24.
Okay, so we have $2,400, right?
Correct.
Left? Okay, so that will give us, just so you know, so if we have $2,400, last year, the plaques were roughly, I'm gonna say 1,100, okay?
Okay.
So let's say they're more, yes, let's say they're more this year, because that was last year.
1,300, 1,250.
So, if we have 2,400 and we take, how about 1,400 out of that?
Yeah, so we got 1,000.
That still leaves us with
We can
$1,000.
see if we can throw 1,000 at somebody, maybe to hang those other two. Yeah, who knows, without asking, but yeah, let's
Okay,
set up.
You want two flags. Did you say there were 1,400 each?
No,
no, there were two last year
1,100.
for about 1,100. So I'm just anticipating everything's more expensive these days.
550 each.
So, so we'll think in terms of 1,400. So that,
Do you have a vendor in mind that does this, you have a specific vendor that does this, right?
yeah.
Yep.
Because we have the two plaques that we did last year, so,
copy paste, yeah.
okay, all right. Okay, so that leaves us with $1,000. So the other thing that we need to consider, and at our next meeting, we will be voting on this. At the next meeting, I will have invoices in hand from this, from the plaque company for the two. But the other thing I will need to have in hand is an invoice. If we want to spend part of this on training for, typically Preservation Buffalo Niagara, we pay for next year's subscription or whatever it's called out of this year's extra money. Now, last year we did the 500 level, it gave us 3 trainings, we only used 2 of them, okay? And so, we still have 1 training coming next year from this year's sponsorship. So I don't think you need a $500.
You drop down.
What's the next level?
I think the next, I don't know what it is, and I reached out to them, and plus I don't know if things have changed now with them. So I did reach out to Ben. He didn't get, I haven't heard back from him, but I will. But do you want me, are we interested in doing the lower level? That would probably give you 2 trainings. One is custom, and again, if it is the way that it used to be, one would be custom and one would be their Preservation 101 training, which if you have new people coming in, you probably need, okay? And then you have the extra training. So you really would have 2 custom and 1 your Preservation 101 for your new members next year at probably $250. So that would give you $750 for whatever else you might need it for.
Well, I asked about that, the NACP.
Yeah,
If we
you
could
did.
do an organizational membership, because that, I only seen 1 or 2 of them, but even if you sign up, they always send you the recording afterwards, so it's not if you can't make it, you lose out, and it seems like there's a variety of them.
Okay? So how much is that? And we would need the invoice for next time if we want to use that, if we wanted to use this money for that. Yeah. So I'll still reach out to Ben. Like I said, I've already reached out to him, and I'll find out what we can do, and then at next month's meeting, we can make a decision on all of this, okay? We'll have the invoices. The only thing is, I don't want to ask people, I want to be sure if I'm asking them about the plaques, that we're not going to change our mind next month. Okay, so these are the 2 that I'll reach out to, and then if you can get that information.
Sure,
And
sure.
we'll actually they need something to pay. And then I'll get an invoice from Preservation Buffalo Niagara as well and find out how they're running it now as well. All right.
Try to see what costs might be associated with installation of those.
Yep.
I don't know, what's on the house,
The owners would probably throw them on, I would guess. We'd like have a little ceremony or something and hand it over, or what?
Yeah, I don't think we had any ceremony for the other one.
We haven't done the
Well,
other one,
owner
right?
for Harlem Road Schools is a town, so we don't have to pay for that install.
It just shows up one day. Hey.
They'll put it on. Yeah, I mean, the owner would install it, we would install it,
Okay.
yeah.
Is there any information you need to have with the property owner to put the flag on, leave the flag on, movie or anything like that? Is there anything?
No, I mean, that's why we're asking ahead of time. We're not just making plaques for people without knowing that they want
Yeah,
one.
but what's the rule that they have to keep it?
I don't think we can force someone to keep something on their property.
Maybe they'll put it on their
And what
mantle.
if it sells and, you know?
Don't know that we have any way of forcing someone to keep something on their property.
This is a training session. What are the
I mean, this is a-
protocols?
It's a gift.
It's a gift, yeah.
from the
gift.
town.
I mean,
So-
how many
so-
historical places I've been all over the country, and people have these plaques on their houses. There must be protocols out there.
Well, I can say for landmark properties, for an exterior change, you would typically have to go through a certificate of appropriateness application. So I know it's kind of a sticky area. Sorry bringing it up, but
No, not for adding a plaque.
yeah.
Not for adding a plaque, it's not a
No.
modification.
How does the code read though?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's
So if
like
so,
putting
if someone
up a
was going to
bird
put a
feeder.
plaque, any plaque on a landmark, you would be okay with it.
Yes, it's
Okay.
not a problem. But so does, screwing in a bird feeder on the outside of the house. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Enforceability is one of the biggest.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. So, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't, this is a gift from us.
Yep.
We should be happy that they're, in my opinion, just speaking for myself, I think we should be happy that they're willing to, that they want it. And I would think if they say yes, that they want it, that they're gonna be proud and they're gonna have it on their home, And if they sell their house and somebody else wants to take it off, they're gonna take it off. I think we don't have anything in our statute, we can't, I mean, there's no way that we could enforce anything, we don't have any laws that say, that really cover this, So unless we want to draft agreements and get into all that, which to me is not the whole.
$600 plaque.
No, but it's not, the idea is for us is to be, it's a gift, it's a goodwill gesture, it's thank you for, taking care of your property. Yeah,
If I lived there, I'd probably ask that question.
right,
They may ask us.
Sure.
right, right. I mean, right now, by law, we have no way of forcing someone to keep it up.
Right.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Well, I'll definitely have that conversation with them and explain it to them. And, we would hope that they would want to keep it up if they want it, for sure. Okay, so, anything else on that? Are we good?
They may ask you if somebody else puts it on. So you'll just tell them, or I don't know if we could find someone to help them. But I guess see how it goes, right? You gotta have a conversation.
I'll be honest, I would prefer that we do not get involved in putting things on, because if we put it on and somehow there's a problem or there's an issue, here it is, and have them put it on, yeah. Okay, the next item is CLG grant submission and preservation day. It's my understanding that whatever needs to be done for the grant is being done for the grant. Correct, James?
That just involves the grant reporting. We should have a draft from Preservation Buffalo Niagara. That'll be submitted to SHPO.
Okay, so do you need anything from anybody?
The report, yeah.
Okay.
Last we checked, Preservation Buffalo Niagara was giving us a narrative.
That's this.
I sent it.
Yeah, so that'll be sent to SHPO. Well, Linda Mackey, the CLG coordinator.
So those are the two things that I got from him, and that's what you need then, right?
Yes.
The budget,
Yes, budget and the narrative.
right?
Yeah.
So then as far as we know, we're done, unless they ask for
Um,
more.
Yes. Yeah. It's all that requires is submission.
Okay. How long does that take, James? I'm just wondering if this needs to stay on the agenda or if it can come off the agenda.
It really wasn't much to it last year, I believe. Linda gave us a acknowledgement that we received it. I don't believe there was any comments or response required. So, time frame, couple weeks maybe.
Okay. So can we send that to her now, and then maybe by December we'll be able to take it off, you think?
Surely.
Okay. All right. Education plan, so we talked about the trainings. You have one more training coming next year from Preservation Buffalo Niagara based on the money that we spent this year. And then you will get whatever you want to get, so you'll come up with your ideas for that. The website, I did send James my comments on the website, and some pictures that I've got for the website, and so he will meet with whoever he needs to meet with to do whatever those things are, to update the website, as far as the comments that I received from everybody. Okay, so hopefully that will come off, or at least the website can come off. Unless you guys decide, unless the commission decides that they want to just keep this on as a general item, but the things that need to be done, that I think need to be done, and we said needed to be done, should be done by the next meeting. All right. So I just want to, our next meeting is December 12th. It's only 3 weeks away. So we're gonna, these things that we have to do, we're gonna have to get done in a quick hurry. I'm gonna have to make my phone calls. You guys are gonna have to figure out. And then at the next meeting, I just want to make sure we all know what we're gonna do. So at the next meeting, we will have answers on the plaques, and we will approve the plaque invoices. We will approve the CLG report at the next meeting, okay? So you're gonna get me your comments and your suggestions as well, anything else you wanna add. James said we might be doing the calendar for 2024 at the next meeting.
I can give you a draft of course, the HPC meets the second Tuesday of every month. I can give you a draft of what that looks like now. For meeting scheduling for the finalization of it, it gets coordinated through the town supervisor's office. So I can't say that that will definitely be the meeting dates, but that will be the draft that I can then submit to have them coordinate with all the other committees with the town runs. And
Basically, we're saying this is what we would like.
yes, yes.
Got it. So we'll do that at the next meeting as well. Decide what we would like.
Right, yeah, what we're submitting to the town supervisor's office to schedule.
Okay. Is there anything else that you think we should be doing at the next meeting? Because the next meeting is my last meeting. So is there anything else you need me to do between now and then? Because I'm making my list. All right. If there is anything, send me an email. But I think we're in pretty good shape. Just need to get those plaques up. I will take care of the ordering of these plaques. Hopefully that will all happen, before the end of the year. And we'll have that'll all be done, and all these things will be buttoned up. That's all I have. Anything else for the good of the order here? No? Okay. All right, then I need a motion to adjourn.
Mary Lou Mancuso, I make a motion to adjourn.
I will second. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? No? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you very much.